It started.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can y'all see the smoke?
I'm making plays. I'm making hits. I'm making hits. I'm making plays. I'm making plays. I never miss. I never miss. Haters gon' hate. Yeah, they gon' hate. But look at the clips. Just look at the clips. At the end of the day, I was made for this shit, dog. I was made for this shit. Nothing but green grass in my view. Hit him for 50 yards up the middle. All of my rushes are ready to move. Tell your quarterback, head on the swivel. Came all this way, so we hungry as hell. If we ain't winning, we ain't leaving the field. Overtime, now the shit getting real. Double overtime, shoot for the kill. I put it all on my shoulders. Give 100 till it's over. All of this ice in my veins, tell me how could there be anyone colder?
Yo, what's good? Chiefs Kingdom, Arrowhead PM. We are back in the building. I am your host, 3PDG. I got my main man, Ethan. My guy, Corey's in the building. And my dog, Trizzy, is in the building tonight. Chiefs
Sir,
get a
yes,
big
sir.
dub week 2 over the
Jeez.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah,
26-25. We sent their ass back home to Cincinnati. You know, I don't know who they thought they was calling this Burrowhead. I don't know who the hell they
man.
thought they was talking about they was gonna finish us off, but nah, man. We back, man, with another episode. Of course, we're powered by Chiefs Kingdom, man. Follow us on Twitter at Arrowhead AM and PM. We are
Yes.
live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Title, anywhere you can find podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you can find us. Follow us at, man. Hopefully y'all are enjoying y'all week, man. How's it going, fellas? How we doing?
Everything's good, man. Glad we got the dub. It was a ugly win, but a win nonetheless. Definitely some things we got to clean up heading into Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Sunday Night Football. But for our team to play like that, 3 turnovers, in the midst of all that stuff, playing against a I guess a rivalry you could say. We've been going back and forth. They've had our number at home, especially in the hey mama, especially in the regular season. They've been able to get some tough wins. So for us to come out on top, even though we played kind of bad on offense, defense continued to bail us out. So man, it was a good victory, man. It was good to see the team win like that. Like I said, even though it wasn't pretty on the offensive side of the ball and they turned the ball over, for us to get the win just compliments Andy Reid, it compliments the team, and it compliments their mindset going forward.
What about you, Ethan? What's your thoughts? What was your thoughts on the game on Sunday?
Uh, I mean, it went about how I expected. Maybe offensively, I thought we'd come out and play a little bit better. But I mean, it's the Bengals. It's always a battle to the end. I there was a part of me that had hoped that we would go in there and we would just bend them over, but it didn't happen.
Bend them
And so,
over. Crazy.
yeah, bro. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, man, like, please, just one time, just go in there and beat the dog shit out of them. All the talk on Twitter, it's just tiresome.
Yeah.
And we're still seeing it today. People crying, and that I'm just like, man. So
Yeah. Lots of thoughts on the refs and things that happened in that game or whatever. What was your thoughts, Corey, on week 2?
I'd say it was an ugly win, but if you look at the last 2 seasons, both these last 2 games are games that we dropped. I think that was the consensus over the last 2 years was that we couldn't win these close games, and we're 2-0 in close games this year.
Sorry.
Besides that, a fun fact: since they called it Burrowhead, Limp Wrist Slim Shady has ended all 3 of his final drives
Limp wrist
taking a sack.
Shady is crazy.
He gonna take some more. Don't worry. It'll be
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, man. Obviously, anytime we play the Cincinnati Bengals, it's always going to be a tough game. I think they really, both teams, I think, really get up to kind of play each other. It's definitely growing into one of the NFL's budding rivalries at this point. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. I think we're going to, be
No.
matched up with each other for a while, for the foreseeable future, especially with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and those guys being there at this point in time. So, um, you know, my takeaway from it really was to have 3 turnovers and still figure out a way to come out with a dub. Kind of lets you know what kind of team, what kind of championship effort this Chiefs team has. The points and spots that they've been in. They've been in a lot of tough games before, so I think this was nothing new from them. They didn't seem scared or nervous or anything about that. It's just kind of next play mentality, short term memory through some of those turnovers and stuff like that. So I think they did a good job of keeping even killed, not getting too rattled or anything, and allowing that game to still kind of be close there at the end, and then obviously Harrison Bucker comes in and does what he does, and it's one of the
But I said HB.
right. Yeah, I hear my dog in the background. I apologize. Um. Anyway, man. Um. Obviously, coming out of that game, um, injuries around week 2 have kind of been around going around the league at this point in time. We lost Isaiah Pacheco, uh, to an ankle fractured fibula, I think they're calling it at this point. He had surgery today. He's out for what they say up to 6 to 8 weeks at this point.
Yeah, 6 to
Fortunately
8
enough
weeks.
for him, no ligament damage or anything, no other structural damage or anything like that. So that's a really good sign, really good news. I would think with that timeline that he could probably be back maybe late November, early December ish, if he does come back at that point. I know Andy Reid spoke to the media today, and people was like, he said, this season or next season or whatever. But I think Andy kind of tends to keep things open with especially with the media, and doesn't try to jump to conclusions. Of course, he's gonna tell you he's not a doctor or anything like that. But with the impact of the Pacheco injury, man, what are y'all initial thoughts on Pop going down? We'll start with you, Trace.
Yeah, I think Pacheco kind of developed himself into a complementary back for our offense, especially for our system. He definitely has some skill sets that I feel like we're gonna miss. His tough runs. He's physical. He can get up the field. He can get into space. Make get a stiff arm or two, run some people over, get up the field. So it's definitely going to be missed. It's unfortunate to have these injuries pile up so early because we only have a week 6 bye, so we definitely have to be careful about keeping guys healthy and making sure we coming out of games as healthy as possible. I know that's uncontrollable at some point, but I know our training staff usually do a good job of getting guys back. So we're going to miss 3 guys with Hollywood Brown already being out, and that surgery going on, and we might not be able to see him until postseason. And then the same thing, we got Charles Omenihu coming back week 8, week 9. Same thing with looks like Isaiah Pacheco. So definitely gonna be missed. He's grown himself into this offense and been a complimentary back. Been real respected around the league, especially for a 7th round pick. So Pacheco is definitely going to be missed. I'm not sure with the running back room being out already thin as it is, for us to get some reinforcements this week was very important. So it's going to be interesting to see how we handle that going forward. I know we signed Kareem Hunt and we also signed Keontae Ingram on the Packers squad. So it looks like they understand that those things are important, but I'm just not sure how quickly we can replace that production from Pacheco.
Yeah, that'll be my question for Ethan and Corey. Replacing that production at this point in time, and the guys that they kind of brought in, Keontae Ingram, adding Kareem Hunt. How do you guys feel about their impact coming in on this team, and what do you think they could be out possibly be able to do? We'll start with you, Ethan.
Uh, Keontae, I mean, I don't know. Hey, he's been on the practice squad, so at least he has some familiar, semi-familiar with the playbook anyway, should be. Um, I don't think we'll see much from him, to be honest. Uh, even this week, really.
Right.
I think Carson Steele and Samaje will both have, kind of that bulk load this week, and we'll see with Kareem what ends up happening. Now, once Kareem gets here, gets kind of back into football shape, and gets that playbook down and stuff, I definitely think he'll have a big impact. Now, by big impact, my expectations are 5 to 10 carries a game. And so if we can get him that 5 to 10 target, I think that it'll help. The thing with, I mean, so we got Pacheco. You guys was talking about kind of his injury and stuff.
Mhm.
One thing I wanted to say on him was if we could get him back by the Buffalo game,
Right.
which I think is reasonable. I think I had it up earlier, 10 weeks from now. Anyway, if we can get him back around then, him and Kareem Hunt, that's the biggest thing I'm excited about with Kareem Hunt is having Pacheco and Kareem in that backfield. I think that's gonna be a dangerous duo right there. I don't know exactly how much Kareem still has left in him, but I mean, he's only 29 years old, and I
Yeah.
understand he's a running back, but that age, you know, we'll see. Now he has missed a lot of football, so he doesn't have the miles like most players do at that age. So we'll
Hmm.
see. But yeah, I don't expect either one of them to have a big impact this week. Either of those signings. That's just me.
What about you, Corey? What's your initial thoughts about the additions to the team?
I'm gonna give y'all a hot take. If
We love
people
hot
play,
takes.
this is all the people that play fantasy football. Pick up Kareem Hunt. In 2 weeks, he's gonna be a top 15 fantasy back. I think people forget the versatility he has. Pops brings great energy. He is what he is. He was a seventh round pick for a reason, though. He leaves a lot of yards on the field. The difference between Pops and Kareem is Hunt will make people miss and go for that extra yard, where Pop would look to run over somebody for that extra 2 or 3. I
Right.
love Hunt's versatility. I've wanted him back since he left. I think he was a perfect fit for Mahomes. I mean, we saw what he did in year 1 and 2 here. Like I said, a hot take is in 2 weeks, people are going to be like, damn. Like, they're going to see a side of this offense they haven't seen in a while, that elusive back that can break one loose for 20, 30 yards. Pops, great for getting 5, 6 yards of carry.
Right.
But he lacks that big play ability, which is something that Kareem Hunt gives you with that vision. The one thing Pacheco lacks is that vision, and Hunt has that.
I think adding those two guys, I love what Carson Steele is, here for and on this
Yeah.
team. Bringing a guy in that can get you, those short yards, 4 or 5, in between the tackles and run really tough. I think it adds a big element to this team. And I know a lot of people probably expect him this week to get a lot of snaps. But I think you still have to have some depth there at certain points. So I love the fact that they went out and got a familiar face in Kareem Hunt. I think he kind of provides that change of pace for them. May not have the same explosion he used to have when he first got here, and that's to be said. Obviously with his age being 29 now, a little bit older, but now still comes in knowing what's expected of this system, where to be. I think he can kind of help you on third downs and pass protection and things of that nature. So I just expect him to come in and be a veteran, do his job, help us out and help us win ball games or whatever. as well as far as Keontae Ingram as well too. I think it's more probably special team purposes at this point in time, and just to have an extra body, just in case somebody goes down or whatever. At least have like to have somebody up there that knows been here through training camp and kind of knows the expectations as well too. So yeah, love the depth, love the fact that they were aggressive enough to go out and pick up some extra bodies and bring some guys in and
Absolutely.
hopefully they're able to keep rolling. But you guys know why we're here, man.
Yeah, I
This
got one thing.
podcast is
I've got
go
one
ahead,
thing to add on that real quick.
go ahead,
I
Corey.
think this will also force Andy Reid to use running backs how they are supposed to be used. If we look at last week, we kept lining Pacheco up in short yardage and the Wildcat, first and goal and second goal from the one. This will be an opportunity for him to be more versatile with the
Yeah.
backs, use Hunt and other back and P. Ryan first, second down situation, Hunt and third
Mhm.
down, and then Carson Steele to have a bigger role in short yardage. How many of y'all were screaming at the TV to go for it on fourth and goal from the half yard line?
Everybody.
But we had 3 plays before that. We ran the little inside draw to Pacheco, the little screen pass to Pacheco, and
Yeah.
like I said, I think this will force Andy to actually use the running backs in situations that better suit them instead of just trying to force Pacheco in there on every situation.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
I completely agree. Um, but like I said, man, y'all know what this podcast is kind of built off of. We like to give the fans a perspective that I think a lot of the fans don't get to see, and that's the film review. We spend time on our off days off of here, looking, trying to see the game from a different perspective, and I think it gives you a glance at and helps you understand actually what happens on certain plays, why certain things happen, why teams have certain philosophies and things of that nature. So we're gonna get into the film, man, with the Cincinnati Bengals. Start.
Just fair warning, it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, the film was. Yeah, I'll say that this film was not easy, especially from the offensive perspective to watch
Yeah.
this week. A lot of things that the Chiefs obviously need to clean up. I know that they probably watched this on Monday and Tuesday and probably had their meetings that there was an emphasis to clean up a lot of things. So it's some of it's not pretty, and that's why we're here, man, to explain and give y'all a little bit perspective and insight on why certain things happen during the game or whatever.
Yep.
So, fellas, we're gonna start off. I think this is 2nd and 2 from Cincinnati. This is Cincinnati's first drive um, from their 38-yard line. And Triz, if you kind of want to tell us what you're seeing here early on from our defensive aspect. Oh, here he is. Hold on, let me bring Chizzy back up.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and break this down for us real quick. Tell us what you're seeing early on right here.
Yeah. So looks like they're on 12 personnel. They're keeping it heavy. So usually when you're in 12 personnel, that obviously means that one of the safeties has to come down and check on the tight end. So right here, since we are coming down in the box, you see we too high. The film keeps going. Stop right there. You see him work with him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Spags looks like he's trying to bluff a man coverage, but obviously you can see at the top of the screen that Justin Reed is staying put. So Joe Burrow can see that, keep it going. And then right here, keep going, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just watch the tight end on the play, act like he's about to block.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just getting in the open space. And then our safeties, our linebackers have struggled mightily with doing that. So the check and releases, the acting like they're about to block thing, kind of giving it like a almost like dressing it up We struggle with that all game, and you can see on that play, especially when Spags is trying to disguise. I just feel like giving Joe Burrow a clean pocket like they were doing was just very complicated. And obviously, he didn't feel good about leaving certain receivers on an island, especially with cornerback matchups. So you have to be a little bit conservative with your defensive play calling with a quarterback like Joe Burrow. And you just seen them able to take advantage of it all night. And here's another example.
Yeah, that so going back and looking at this film, we seen a lot of oh, computer's acting a little weird. Um, early, especially early drive, we seen a lot of. Can you hear me? Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. We seen a lot of philosophy from the Bengals, obviously, to check and release. I think it's something that they kind of took from the Ravens, especially from Week 1. I think they saw that was something that the Chiefs obviously struggled with was covering the tight ends at this point in time, and especially early on in the season. So they were basically just getting their tight ends into some favorable matchups, uh, being really secretive at the line with their tight ends, trying to pretend like they're keeping an extra guy in the block, but then he kind of chips, releases, and then gets into open space as well. And then Burrow just end up finding them for a short, easy throw. So this first drive, they really did that a lot. This play is 4th and 3 on the 43-yard line. This is that play that Mike Gesicki kind of burned us for I think 37 yards on this
Mm.
play. So, Corey, if you want to kind of speak to what you see on this play and how the Chiefs can kind of correct this point in time.
Well, I said it, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't think it's a scheme issue. I think it's more of a personnel issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Bolton just had speed backwards. If you look at Reed, he's great forward. He's not great in sideline to sideline. I think when teams start lining up heavy,
Is he cutting in and out?
Yeah.
Corey, you cutting in and out?
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I'd say for me, it's a personnel issue. Reed is great about moving forward. The same with Bolton, but we don't have anybody that's good sideline to sideline that can turn and run with those tight ends. And we keep seeing it once it gets past that linebacker level, the pursuit speed is just not there. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Hicks is the answer to that. Once Hicks gets more familiar with that defense, I think we bring him in. And like I said, if you see it right there, Reed just trying to track him down. They don't have the speed. They don't have the speed on that back end to keep up with some of these faster tight ends. And I think it may just need a personnel switch when they're going heavy like that. Bring Hicks in and have him as kind of that spy on the tight end.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said it a lot, man. I love what Justin Reed brings to his team, leadership wise and effort wise, and what he can do kind of in open space as far as tackling. I think he's a very physical player, but man, when it comes to coverage, sometimes he just gets so lost. Um, and I just think that the coverage skills aren't the greatest. So putting him in matchups like this, sometimes I think teams see this on film and they tend to want to go attack him at certain points in times. You kind of see at the top of the route, there's kind of a switch and release between him and I think this is Nazi Johnson. Yeah, him and Nazi. So Nazi takes the receiver. Justin's supposed to have the tight end. Um, I really think, man, on this
This is
he
one where he tripped, didn't he?
yeah, he trips and like I was telling Corey, listen, we fall down, but
Yeah.
we get up. Like, so you can't have this, man. You can't,
No.
it's tough play. I know sometimes this is unfortunate that it happens like this, but you got to stay glued to your guy, And obviously they give up a big play right
And
here.
back it up a few when they do the switch off.
Mm-hmm.
Now hit play and watch when they switch. Watch his pursuit angle. Instead of taking a 45 upfield to match him, he tries to come down underneath him and then catch up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
That, that,
yeah.
that's not a very good pursuit angle right there. He's heading downfield. Reed is heading directly parallel with the 40-yard line, and when he's running forward, he's great. He's great at timing, making a hit on somebody, reading the screen pass. But when he has to turn his hips and run upfield and match stride for stride with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
he lacks that the top end speed to be able to match somebody stride for stride, and B, that hip flexibility. When you see him have to turn, you see him lose his balance a lot like that. And
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I will say shout out to Shamari Connor. He almost gets his hand in on this ball
Yeah.
right here over his head.
He's got some hops on him.
Right. But yeah, man. Sometimes it's one of those things. This is actually a great throw and by Burrow as well too. Kind of right over the money. That's a tough throw to put right over another safety into this zone. But yeah, I agree with you, Corey. I think that the main thing for Justin Reed here is to kind of think about not necessarily being so sticky with coverage, but beating Gesicki to the spot.
yeah,
You know.
well, and he's got help underneath. You can see the congestion there. So
Mm-hmm.
if he just stays on top of him, he's fine. He's able to make that play. And
Right.
it was just, I think it was a bad pursuit angle, which led to him trying to play catch up, and then he got feet tangled up, and just like you said, all fall down.
It almost looks like Reed kind of expected more of an in route as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to a crossing route, and I think that's why that angle that he took,
Yeah, I don't know if he expects to for
or
well,
maybe
okay,
a
so
comeback.
yeah, and you can see at the top that I think Reed is thinking they're gonna throw this at the stick, so he's expecting Gesicki to kind of flatten
Yeah,
this route off a little bit. And I know Gesicki is been in this league for a minute, so he probably does this natural instinct that he's just gonna keep kind of running this route upfield a little bit, you know, to get a better angle, and just a great throw and catch, and you know, shout out to Brian Cook for being able to make the play to stop him from scoring. Um, we will move to later on in this drive and go to this play right here. This was one of my favorite plays of the day, and the reason being is because this proves why Trent McDuffie is an All Pro and why he's gonna be a top 5 corner in this league. Um, so Ethan, if you want to kind of break down what you see right here on this play, but as we watch McDuffie here at the top, he's gonna be matched up 1-on-1 with one of the best receivers in the league, and just watch what he does, man.
yeah. I mean, one of the things about McDuffie is, I mean, this dude, like everybody talks about, he doesn't have interceptions and stuff, but this is what he does, game in and game out. Rep after rep. He is as sticky in coverage as you can get. Um, it was just a little quick slant by Chase here. And McDuffie, he's got the outside leverage on him. I don't know, man, if he could get on the inside on that, which I understand why he's kind of covering that boundary.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things with him is he's always right there, but he's almost never in the right position to make the play on the ball, which is, sometimes frustrating as Chiefs fans. But I mean, Chase is a great player.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can take away from him after watching this game. It just, when you're going up against somebody like McDuffie, it's going to take a lot more than lining him up one-on-one outside with him, I think, in my opinion. A lot of Bengals fans, all week, oh yeah, Chase put him, put McDuffie 1-on-1 with him. We're gonna cook him,
Right.
and I think the play call here by the Bengals, if they knew they would have had 1-on-1, I think they would have maybe have thrown the ball up a little bit more to where only Chase could get it.
Yeah.
It just there ain't much you can take away from that play with. I
I
mean
I
that.
I think from Chase's perspective, I think he could have done a little bit more with this route, and I kind of
Yeah, it
think
was a
that's
lazy
what
route.
yeah, I think that's what Trent was kind of expecting because you see how
Yeah,
he's playing his outside shoulder right here.
like he's
He
expecting a zig
yeah,
or
or expecting him to kind of try to get him leaning this way so that he can come back inside to here. But I
yeah.
think Trent finally see and this is the great part about Trent. I think he sees that he's got great instincts to know that I don't need to panic here, and then just basically run the route with him, you know,
Yeah,
and
What
then
Trent's really good at is he is good at setting a defender up. If you look at the way he sets it up, the receiver can only go one way. He goes outside, he has to go through McDuffie. He
mhm,
takes that away to where the end cut, he knows that he's going to either A, have to go through him, or B, go that direction, and he just puts his foot in the ground as soon as he sees that cut. He's one of the best in the league at setting, especially when receivers have an option route where they can go in or out. He is really good about completely taking away one side and forcing the receiver to go where he wants them to go. So it looks like he's running the route for the receiver, but in reality, he is just setting the receiver up to where
mhm.
he's taking out half the field. He can only go that one direction, or he's running right into him.
is that Reed
Yeah.
out there?
Where at?
Uh, just right below
Yeah, right
Chase
here.
and
Yeah.
McDuffie. Yeah.
hmm So
Okay.
Reed, I think his assignment is Chase Brown. He's watching Chase
Yeah.
Brown, and obviously he
Man.
sees okay, he does nothing. But I think he does a good job here of just making this window a little bit
Yeah.
tougher for Burrow to kind of fit this through.
Just kind of that mid zone area right
hmm
there. I mean,
What about
obviously, looking at
Re-
the
re-
hindsight,
for
do what?
people, I want you to remember this play for another one that we're going to show later on too.
yeah? What about you, Triz? What was your thoughts on Trick McDuffie on Sunday against Chase?
Uh, show why he's one of the best young players in this game, not just cornerback. To me, he let alone changed our secondary. He's the reason why we can do so many different blitzes and stunts. He's the reason why we can keep some guys in coverages and do different things. Again, this is another play where you probably thought they were going to the tight end, but Trent McDuffie's just showing up, showing you why he's the number one guy. It was questions about if he could come in and take on that L'Jarius Sneed role because he played the slot last year, but people know he's a traditional corner, and he just giving it, he putting it on film and let you know why he's one of those guys. It's rare for a guy to come in like that and play that well, especially when he's a younger guy. For him to
hmm
come in, with questions like that, especially in the off season, if he will be able to do that, I think he's answering the bill to that. That's a tough play on the inside. It kind of looked like they were going back to one of those check release plays, and then he was able to make the play on the inside. Looks like he knew what was coming. Try to make sure he get his palm on the ball. Try to make sure he made it a difficult catch, and that's exactly what he did. It's not necessarily with the interceptions with him because I don't think he's really gonna get tried that much, just because of the player that he is. So sometimes, even if he's just around the ball, they're able to make a play, put his hand on it like that. Sometimes that just gives him more
hmm
confidence moving forward out throughout the game, and he displayed that. There's another play on the goal line I think you were trying to get to where
You
Jamar
said.
Chase tried to hit him with a stick route, tried to hit him with a slant, and he tried to take it out. And Trent McDuffie took him out that play, and that was the first read. So, again, with no help, just showing why he's one of the main guys in this league. So, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's glazing this opportunity, taking the most of it. You know what I'm saying? So, he's definitely going to be a guy that's going to get a big contract from us, hopefully. So, I'm just looking forward to him continue to put it on film, man, and show the world why he's one of the best.
I hope we can afford him.
Yeah, I hope we can afford him, man. I really
At
do.
this point.
Where'd
Yeah,
DG?
that is a good question.
Look like we lost DG there for a second. Probably some technical issues. He'll be back.
Yeah. So, Trizzy Corey, got a question for you.
Yep.
What is the what's your idea number of rushes for Kareem Hunt his first game back?
I think like what Corey was saying about alluding to the fact that Kareem Hunt has a little bit more of that RB1 flavor, meaning he can, kind of read. He's patient. He can get off of blocks. I'm expecting Kareem to kind of be a part of the offense. I think Andy Reid just want to make sure that he's at least constant in the playbook. I'm not sure how much of that 2017 guy we'll see, especially his
Yeah.
rookie year, opening up against the defending champs. What he did in New England was special. So Kareem is definitely going to be a guy that gets opportunities in this offense. I feel like his skill set is still there, it's still remaining. We just gotta, see if we can kind of integrate him into the offense as quickly as possible, especially with Pop going down. We're definitely gonna need a guy, and Kareem Hunt is not a bad guy to be able to call when you need a guy. So I'm excited for him to be back in Kansas City. There's a lot of speculation going around. I seen a comment I actually wanted to talk about, where it was a reporter asking, if do you believe that people can change, and it really blew my mind, especially with being a part of this Chiefs team. When guys come on the team and they come back on the scene, the last thing you want to do is kind of tank that, and kind of make that image stinky. You want to make sure that this guy's feel welcome back in the Chiefs kingdom as much as he was accepted here when he was here before he made his mistake. So to ask that question, I feel like is a little bit crazy, and I hope he doesn't see that. And even if he does, I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way, because we definitely love Kareem Hunt when he's here, and we happy to have him back. We hate to see Pop go down, but if Kareem Hunt could come in and be a guy, I mean, it's a story written for the books. We lose a guy, he comes back and be able to contribute to a team that's doing something historic. So shout out to Kareem Hunt. Shout out to the Kareem Hunt family, his friends, man. I know they're excited for him to be back in that Chiefs uniform. So I'm looking forward to his debut.
Yeah.
I'll say
Yeah.
this for people that think that players can't change. Kareem Hunt was just out of college.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
lose
we
Corey
lost
too.
him. Yeah.
Sorry,
We get
y'all.
back to the film.
Yeah, yeah, my bad, y'all. We have a little technical difficulties. Obviously, StreamYard is a little wonky tonight, so but we back to it though.
We
Corey, you want to
fighting.
finish your thought and then we go back to the film?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you remember coming out of high school, Kelsey was almost unsignable in college. Nobody really wanted him. What was a big thing? Him coming out in the draft. Nobody wanted to sign him because they thought that he had issues. He was immature. That he wasn't going to grow up. He was a partier. And he's turned into one of the team leaders, the best tight end in the league. There's a huge difference in maturity and the way people's brains function when they're 21, 22 years old and when they're 30 years old. So
Yeah.
to say that somebody can't change because of a past mistake, I think is irresponsible, and I think somebody kind of just throwing shade without actually throwing shade.
We know some of these KC media members are just trying to get the clicks, So
Yeah.
I don't care for him much, but that's just me. But,
Sorry about the technical difficulties, y'all. We trying to still figure this stuff out or whatever. But we're gonna get back to the film review. Um, we're still on the first drive with the Bengals. Third and goal from the 4, and this is I think another part where Chiefs defense does a good job of bending but not breaking. Not giving up a score. So Bengals kind of line up in what you would say a doubles or twins is what a lot of people would call it. Split out. So and I think we're kind of all matched up here. At first, it kind of looks like man, but they drop into zone a little bit and just passing certain things off. And then obviously the pass rush I think Turk Wharton does a good job of pressuring Burrow at this point.
Hey, Turks played well, man.
Yep,
Like
two
what he's
games.
Turk
doing.
wins on the inside. If you see that little man, he destroys this guard in
Yeah,
the
it
middle
does.
of that. Yeah, so Turk is the one that kind of makes this play for me. And then George kind of finishing it up as far as getting to Burrow as well too. George Karlaftis, I feel like had a very underrated game on Sunday. I think he did some. He had a sack, but I think he did some things, especially pressure wise, that really forced Burrow's hand to have to make some throws early. And I know a lot of people love sack numbers and they equate that to you getting pressure, but that's not always what pressure
No,
is. So
Uh,
if you guys
unless
want to
you're
get a little bit of thoughts of
unless
what
you're
y'all
Aiden Hutchinson, then you get 5 of them things. So
right, right. I think that
listen,
they do a good job right here passing off Chase at the bottom. I think that's originally where Burrow is looking because you kind of see him pump, and then he sees Chase isn't open. So now he's got to go to his second read, third read, and now it's just now improvise and try to extend and make some time. And then, of course, George is right there on him. Trent Irwin was kind of coming open in the back of the end zone
it
there
looked
for a
like
little bit.
Burrow was. Hang on. Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that pressure forces Burrow to
Yeah,
have to make that throw earlier than he probably wanted to. So we will move. Y'all want to look at some offense?
While we're on the defense and that same goal line situation, can we look at the 4th and 3 they scored a touchdown on?
This was the first drive. They didn't score on this drive.
No, it was the second quarter. It was the 4th and 3, but it kind of plays into that same defensive scheme and that same route.
Okay. Go down.
is that the one where? Is it Irwin?
No, that's the one where the guy
No,
that's Yoshi.
Yoshi. Yeah, that's right. Where
You talking about the one where he's matched up with Josh?
Josh. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's
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 later in the
third
game.
quarter. I think
Yeah, that's
we,
it
we can
right
look at
there.
that one. We can skip down to there.
Just because it's very similar lineup to the one with Chase on McDuffie. It's just one receiver split to the left like that. It starts with that same in route that Chase ran.
Mm-hmm.
But watch the way that Joshua Williams plays it.
Yeah, he's just not good in coverage. Man to man, he's just not.
He's not good when he has to flip his hips.
Yeah, I mean he's a
But
bigger body DB.
to me, it's the way he played this. The way he played this was wrong. And you'll see it as the play develops. Look at where the defense is. Look at where McDuffie settles down. If he lets that receiver keep going and play backside there, we've got McDuffie standing there. The only way he can get beat on this play is by letting him cut back and not playing that cut back. Anything over the middle is taken. We've got a linebacker. We've got McDuffie there. If he keeps running, there's no way to get that throw there. He over pursued it instead of passing it off. I think this was more of a zone where he was supposed to take that outside quarter and let him go and had McDuffie's help underneath. There's no way that throw's getting through right there. The only way he can get beat is on that outside move, and he over pursued the inside and allowed the outside move.
The crazy part is that McDuffie kind of recognizes it before he does. Like McDuffie gets turned around too. But I mean, of course, he's way too far off.
Yeah. On that one, you have to play the backside. You're leading him right into the heart of the coverage. You've got the linebacker there. You've got McDuffie there. I can tell if that's a linebacker if that's Reed.
That's I think that's Bolton. Yeah, it's Reed. I think. No, it's Bolton.
But I mean,
Yeah, it is Bowman.
two people there. There's no way that throw gets through. He has to shade to the outside and make sure that he can cover that outside quarter. And if he cuts back over the middle, just play trail like McDuffie
Right.
did on Chase. But
Right.
he tries to undercut it, overplays it, and as you can see, as I call it, he's got baby giraffe legs. Like his legs just buckle when he tries to turn.
Right.
That's wild.
Horrible.
Yeah,
No,
the
I mean,
Triz is not a big fan.
no.
Never been.
I mean, I don't really know why he followed him up there that
Hmm.
far anyway. I mean, he was lost the second that he had the outside leverage on him to start the play, and then ends up giving. I guess he just thought that he was going to run across the back of the end zone. I don't
Hmm.
understand. But you got two guys down below sitting in zone there waiting for a pass through there. So I don't really know why he committed to come up like that. I mean, he's going to make mistakes. I know Trizzy doesn't like Williams that much and wants to see Nazi more. I just think his size is something that they want to use and they
Yeah.
expect to be able to use. I just don't
Hmm.
think he's there yet. I mean, he's coming back off an injury from preseason. I'm gonna give him a few more weeks before I'm like, okay, yeah, he needs to sit down. So,
Right. Let's
but
let's flip to the offensive side for our team for the Chiefs and look at some of those. But go ahead and finish your thought, Ethan. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. I it wasn't even that important. I was just trying to avoid the offensive side because I'm not prepared for this. So
Yeah, let's
yeah,
we'll start with the bad. Obviously Patrick Mahomes didn't have, I guess, his greatest game on Sunday. Um, two turnover, two interceptions by him, and then I think me and Corey were watching the film last night, and I think he really struggled in this game to kind of see the field, which is something I think Lou Anarumo does a good job. Bengals defensive coordinator does a good job of forcing his hand sometimes and making him be patient and making him play a game that I think that Pat doesn't really like to play at points in times because we all know how explosive he is with his arm and what he can do with his arm, and I think Pat just tends to get a little bored at points in times and wants to make the big play or whatever and revert back to some of his old ways. So um, this play obviously comes off of I think the Chiefs had just forced the Bengals to punt. We get the ball back. Um, First and 10. I love the formation. Love the look. I think it gets the Bengals to kind of look at it something different for a change. But I just think
just
Pat
putting
just
stuff
makes a
on film.
terrible decision here.
Yeah, that's the
So
word. That should have been a worthy.
Trizzy, if you wanna break this down for us or whatever and tell us what you're seeing right here.
Yeah, so like you said, the formation is great. It looks like they starting off like kind of like in a wing I formation with a play action. If you stop it right here, so you got a cover two from the defense, and then it looks like someone is kind of spying on Pat. I think they did a good job of kind of making it look like a cover three because of how he's running in the middle. But I think Pat gets impatient because it looks like he just want to force that ball. Boom, right there. You pause it at a perfect time. You
Hmm.
see that Pat is getting greedy, thinking he can force that ball right there, kind of underestimating how far that linebacker is. But if you look on the film, that's like a 30-yard, almost a 25-yard, missile that he got to throw. And I feel like the check down is there, but at the top of the route, if you go back, so can you just rewind it a little
Yeah,
bit?
I'll go back.
Because they're
Yes, sir.
coming out of the pistol. Look where Worthy's lined up. So Worthy has a corner from the inside,
Hmm.
and I think Pat was just very impatient. Go to the start. You see him breaking it. Now the thing that again, and this is why we drafted Xavier Worthy. As soon as he sees Xavier Worthy, he's just backing, and now he sees him sprinting. So now he has to run. Now
Hmm.
Pat, soon as he drop on that back leg like he's doing now, That's a ball to Worthy right there on the outside. Look at him breaking. He's still trying to sprint. The defender hasn't broke down yet, meaning he can't cross his body. So that's a tough way for him to kind of get there. That's a wide open pylon throw, maybe to that 40 in yard line right there.
Mhm.
Exactly. So Pat put the ball there. That's a big completion, big 45-yard completion to start
Very
off a
good.
turnover drive. Yeah, and we got another deep out. I think that's to Noah Gray, I believe. Yeah,
It's
that's
Justin
Noah Gray.
Watson.
That's Justin Watson. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Justin
yeah.
Watson. So I feel like, another missed opportunity. I'm not sure what he was looking at. You see the defender right there on the 40-yard line. You see him backpedaling still, and he's on the inside backpedaling. That ball's to the outside right there to the 50, or right there between the 50 and the 40-yard line. And this throw to Worthy is a little bit more difficult, but that 50 to 40-yard line from Justin is open as well. So
Yeah.
just missed opportunity that we kept seeing on the film. I think Pat just got to be patient and trust the play call. I understand that Taylor Swift is in the building and you want to get your guy A7 involved, but you got to know that they're winging on him, especially in passing situations. They're gonna find Kelsey. So Lou did a good job of just mixing it up with Pat. But I felt like if he was just a little more impatient, he would have seen Justin breaking open, or he would have seen Worthy. So I think it's just it's just week two, but it's just little things that we can fix. And Pat is a savant. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling a damn three-time Super Bowl MVP how to play football. But at the same time, these are things that I see on film and we all see. So if we can see it, I know that Andy Reid and the guys can see it. So it's something that will definitely be fixed. I think we'll be able to use Worthy a little bit more once we get the full house back, but that probably won't be for a while. So there will be some misses here and there, but I feel like opportunities like that, especially coming off a turnover. We seen the same thing in the Baltimore game where we coming off a turnover, defense playing well, playing as good as they can. We get the ball back, and then it's a turnover from Pat. Even though he got hit in the Baltimore game, that's a turnover, and then you come here straight after the force the three and out, get the punt back, and then you get them the ball right back and give them some momentum and put the defense in a tough position. So we just really got to wing away from that. And really try to capitalize on those situations because those are completions down the field that he can make in his sleep. I seen Patrick do it with under pressure, let alone doing it in his sleep. So it's something that can be adjusted and it's something that definitely will be addressed.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
add to that. Also, say the difference between week two and end of the season. Week two, Kelsey keeps running right there. End of the season, Kelsey sits down in between those two linebackers for a 15-yard throw. Kelsey's always been great about finding that soft spot and sitting in it. He just doesn't look like he's in sync right now. And he even mentioned that in his press conference that part of that's on him. He's not all there right now. He'll get it together. If you watch, before he makes that cut, he's also open right there. If he just turns, does that little curl he usually does to sit in space, he's wide open with 12 yards between him and any defender.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree.
We're gonna move on to Chiefs' first drive. This is 2nd and 1 in the first quarter. And I know a lot of people's one of the fan favorites right now is Carson Steele. So want Ethan to kind of break down what he sees right here from our undrafted rookie out of UCLA and Carson Steele. It's a kind of a crazy play.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
That leap over the line.
Yeah. So
Gotta love it.
Carson, that's one thing about him. He does hit the hole quick.
Mhm.
That I don't think his vision is the best right now, but when you run like that, your vision ain't got to be that great. So, I
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
man, if he could get that down, dude, I don't know.
I mean,
But
he doesn't miss the whole hole to the left, but he made it work.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like his vision's not. I mean, I don't expect it to be great at this moment, but
Hey, you,
He was
you
just trying to
gotta
make a play, man.
you gotta love this effort, man. Like, this hole is pretty much closed, but look at this. He's like, you know what?
I,
You
I
know
will say,
what?
I will say this: he got dogged this last game, but look at Kingsley set that edge and open that hole right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some good reps. I mean,
Mhm.
it wasn't all
Yeah.
bad from this,
No,
Yeah,
no,
especially
but
exactly.
considering it's only his second game, and who he was going against. It was like that play before that you were just showing before this. I
mhm,
mean, he won that rep too. He won a lot of reps, but he gave up a lot of reps too. So
mhm,
I
He
think I sent the pressures and stuff through 2 weeks to you guys earlier. And
mhm.
I think it was through 2 weeks, may have been just last game. I don't remember. But I mean, obviously he was, the worst one. But
This
I
is
don't
cool.
expect much different from him at this moment. So
We did see
This
some good
one,
stuff from him though. Where's that
yeah,
receiver nice touchdown there?
I think this is
yeah. I
the
mean,
play where this is one of I think this is one of Kingsley's bad reps. Um, I'll get to it here in a second.
Make sure we get to that Rice touchdown too.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get to that one too. Yeah, we'll bring that one up next. But I think on this play, they get this motion going back and forth with Sky. Um,
hmm,
no, that's not it.
oh, wow, that's a great rep by
That
King.
was a
yeah,
great rep. But you see, it wasn't,
I
and
don't.
that I'm glad we showed this because it's not all bad. Um, Even though this is a point where I don't know why the Bengals did this, but they took Trey Hendrickson out the game.
Yeah,
So he's matched up with Joseph Osai, but you can see there's a really good rep by Kingsley
That's the
to
difference.
I,
That's
return
why
him.
I see the upside in him. That's the
Hmm.
difference between him, Orlando, and Donovan Smith. The way that he can slide sideways and keep pace with that speed rush and that bull rush like that. If that's Orlando Brown, he's beat right off the bat, and he's just trying to force him downfield.
Hmm.
Kingsley is when he gets his hips flipped like that. He is great about that slide and being able to keep contact through it. It's just the only downside to him, which he's going to learn from, is if he misses on that first punch, then he struggles to recover.
yeah. Well,
If he
so
connects, you're not getting through.
the only thing about him that I don't that I want to see him excel at this week is getting more of a drop step. I mean, that drop step there is lazy. I'm glad it was against Osai instead of. Yeah, I just you talked about him being able to get out there and you know against those speed rushers, and I think that's something that he still has his struggles with because of that drop step. I don't. I feel like
Yeah.
he's. I mean,
He does,
that's
but look at the recovery on that. His ability to sidestep like that and be able to keep pace with the defender. When
Yeah.
Orlando was beat like that, he wasn't catching up. When Donovan Smith was beat like that, he wasn't catching up. He's got the athleticism to, even when he's beat on that first step, that he's got that great first side step after the drop step. Like, play it again and watch how quick he gets into that side step as soon as he turns. Right there, look at that. And he's
Yeah,
able
and
to
kind of
turn.
walls
yeah.
him
Yeah,
off.
that's the one thing that we haven't had that Mahomes always worried about, that blind side, is Donovan and Orlando didn't have the recovery ability once they were beat. What
Yeah.
he needs to work on is his technical ability, which is
Yeah.
something that you can develop in a player. You can't develop and create athleticism in somebody like Orlando.
Yeah. Um, I do want to speak a little bit to this play because I think this is something that irritates me with Patrick Mahomes from time to time. I, I don't know why against the Bengals, but there are points in times where he just won't let it rip. And you can see right here, Rasheed comes open in the end zone, and he's literally staring him down. Like I don't know why you're not throwing the ball. You know,
And the hole is down. Kingsley
Corey,
pushed side
you're
yard
cutting out so bad.
out.
The only thing I can think here is Mahomes is seeing that middle linebacker right there, and that's causing him to hesitate on throwing that.
I, I
Um,
and I understand that, but like this is open as soon as Rashid comes into his break. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
got to throw that. You know,
Yeah,
That's
you
tight.
it's a
gotta,
You
touchdown.
got to throw that as soon as he's making that turn.
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
touchdown.
it's a
He
Which
it's a
missed.
that's
it's. Wouldn't y'all agree that yeah, I think that that would be that's a timing thing. That's a chemistry thing. Like you gotta give your guys a chance. You know.
but was the play design though? My question is on this because you see a misdirection right there into that little almost bubble screen. I don't really know if you'd call it a
That was
bubble
supposed to
screen.
go. That was supposed to go to the back of the end zone to Worthy, but he ended up getting doubled on that play.
Hmm.
Whoever that is running in the back, they tried to catch him sleeping on the backside.
Yeah, and
They
he
do
didn't.
it.
He didn't
They
bite.
did it. He didn't do it. Yeah, he didn't bite. So that he should have snapped it right there to Rasheed right there. Boom. But that's a
And I think
touchdown.
that's what Pat is doing. I think he's trying to manipulate this safety with his eyes to come down and bite on Rasheed, so you get this crosser
Yeah,
But
to
he gotta throw that now. He gotta put that
yeah.
like on the pylon now. Like if you're gonna
Hmm.
try to bait him with your eyes, you gotta bait him with the throw too. You can't just
Yeah.
sit there and just look at him because then he's like, okay, you're not getting the ball. I see you crossing my face. I'm gonna go with you. So Pat just he missed Rasheed Rice wide open to begin
Hmm.
the play. But if he got to use his arm to do that because 21 is already turning his back to him. So you either got him coming up or you got Noah. Oh, who is that right there?
is that
Where
Kelsey?
Is that
Kelsey.
It's
Kelsey right
Kelsey.
there? Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
God. He broke him off so bad. Go back to that. I didn't even see that.
yeah, and unfortunately that was too
That's
late.
a
Mahomes had already turned around the other way.
boom. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
See,
And
amazing.
this
The
is where I
bad
think
time at the
Kansas City
front.
needs to adjust their scheme a little bit. If you look back at last year, Rasheed Rice was so good about getting that initial separation in the red zone. And I think he needs to go be top priority in the red zone. He needs to be first read because he's so good about getting that initial separation like that, that should be your first read almost every time.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because if
that
it's
play wasn't
there,
so right. That's
you're
probably
gonna
why he didn't fire it. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I
I,
hate that that was a kind of a curl
mhm.
slash comeback route there by Rasheed
I
Rice.
also,
If he would have just took off across the other way,
yeah.
Nah, that's wide open patches missed, bro.
I also don't like the panic by with his feet in the pocket.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
feel like you
pocket was
kind of
clean.
yeah.
Pocket was clean. Nothing
The
was coming
pocket's
inside.
clean, and you get up here and I just feel like he just that internal clock in his head just started
he
ticking.
he's back to drifting. 2 years
Hmm.
ago, he had that big problem with drifting. Last year, he started to fix it, stepping up in the pocket. I'm starting to notice that he's drifting again instead of stepping into the pocket.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's only week two. He'll get it down.
for
It's
sure.
fine.
Yep. And then we get the little panic, and then I also think this is a teaching moment for Sky Moore as well too. When he starts improvising, you got to improvise as well too. You got to draw one of these defenders another way or anything like that. Especially knowing that Pop is sitting here in the flat, you got to give him a one-on-one opportunity to either try to make a move on a guy or run through a guy. And I laughed at this so much last night because watching him try to block this linebacker is hilarious. He just gets destroyed.
I mean that's where Sky gets a majority of his snaps. So is those blocking snaps. I mean,
Yeah,
they like him out there blocking. So,
right.
but that wasn't a good rep.
Let's let's move on to some good stuff. We dwelled on some negative things, so we'll move on to some things that people would like to see. Uh, in the
Brandon Ball.
touchdown throw to Rasheed Rice for 44 yards, which I I think is probably one of Pat's best throws of his career. Um, that was an absolute dime. Like I don't know if you could put it on a better spot than where he did.
Yeah, so I don't mind when people get talk about him pulling the trigger like that. And this is
Mm-hmm.
another reason why we had to go and change the way that our receiver room looked because of situations like this. Because really, that throw is not even supposed to be made because it's a cover to the safety has a deeper half of that corner, and the other safety is covering the other part, leaving the middle open a little bit. They're
Mm-hmm.
sitting the guy right there, but just pause it as soon as he started his route. Like Rasheed Rice is so dirty. He comes on, he knows he's going to the outside, but he wins right there, and Pat can see it. That's what I like about Pat. Now,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he don't see it, but this time he see him win straight off the bat. So he knew exactly where he was throwing that ball, how he was going to throw that ball, and I think when he's able to process a throw like that, that quick, because Rasheed Rice run off the line of scrimmage, like that first inside step, boom, and then he
Mm-hmm.
went straight to the outside. So for him to be able to do that, like I feel like when Pat can anticipate that throw already when he can see it, and I feel like he maybe did that with the Kelsey throw and didn't see it clear, but this one he saw clear as day, because that safety was still kind of trying to give that room to sprint to the inside of the field. He knew that he would have
Mm-hmm.
that back kind of corner to drop that ball over the top. And this is just a hell of a throw by 15, and it's a hell of a play call by Andy Reid too. And it's a hell of a right from Rasheed Rice, man. You got to give him his credit on this play because not only did he give him the route, he gave him the catch to finish it. So I mean, it looked pretty until it's not. So for Pat to make this throw right, just I
Hey,
mean, you just stuff like that is I don't know how you teach that. Like that's just
You
ability
can't.
right there.
That's
who's
greatness.
that? Who's that on the bottom of the screen? Is that Worthy?
Yeah, it's worthy.
Dog,
Well,
look at
thing to
him.
watch what made that safety hesitate is watch the move that Kelsey puts on this linebacker here. Completely dusts that linebacker, just leaves him standing. So that safety had to pause for a second.
hmm That's why
Kelsey had
that's why that throw
hooked him.
because he was gonna be wide open for a touchdown too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all
That
three
caused
of
that
them.
safety to hesitate just enough to where he wasn't able to recover on Rice.
Yeah. I think you were speaking, um, um, Ethan, to about Xavier. Um, he comes open as well too. But I think this is I think he gets away with it here, but this is a bad habit from for Xavier. Um,
He's always
you're
going to the outside on his
yeah,
release.
you're running yourself into, and I think he's got to understand this is not college anymore. You're not just gonna run past everybody in this
Yeah,
league. Even though you're fast, we know you're faster than everybody in this league or whatever. But there are a lot of guys that are smarter than you at
yeah.
this level, and this is a teaching moment. I feel like he's got to stop doing this to where he's running up the field and then allowing this sideline to become an extra defender for these corners. Even though he does win this route or whatever,
Yes,
Yeah,
and
that's a tougher throw.
but I'm speaking to that because on the Cam Taylor Britt interception, which I gotta go back to a negative, guys. Sorry,
Yeah, I don't want to go back to the negative, man. We need to. Well, how much?
but
hey, see,
I just kind of want to show Xavier's route and why I think he could have done a lot more that would have helped Pat out. But I
Nah,
think it's both of their faults.
he just got locked up. That shouldn't have been a throw there. That should have been the Rice.
It did, but I think that was a design. I remember earlier in the season, is either Andy Reid or Mahomes' press conference said in certain situations where they see he's got one-on-one, they're going to take the shot no matter what.
Right.
And I think that was kind of designed, but it wasn't that Britt won that rep. Worthy lost it off the line. He stuttered. He cut it too far outside. Took too long to get upfield. So Mahomes was already in the throwing motion, and it looks like he had to compensate and take some off of it.
Oh, this isn't it. That's a good run. Sorry, wrong play.
He's got to be better than like Rice did. Put that foot in the ground, make the first first move and get upfield. He kind of did a little Sky Moore and took like a 3-step shuffle and then tried to run around the defender instead of just making that move and go. Just watch how long it takes for that to develop and him to get around him.
Yeah. We get Worthy here at the top, and he does kind of similar the same thing because I think he thought from earlier in
Look
that
at
game.
Rasheed Rice, bro. That's just a bad throw. You shouldn't have
Yeah,
threw that ball. Rasheed Rice was wide open.
but that's why I'm speaking to it, Triz, because I think this is a huge learning moment for Xavier to learn from the maturation that Rasheed has developed over this last year or whatever, and this is how you're supposed to run this route.
Just run by him. Don't run to him and then try to go
Yeah.
around him. Just run by him.
So now you got an even better corner in Cam Taylor Britt, who I think is arguably the best corner on their team, and you literally give him an extra defender with this sideline with running this route the way you ran it. If he, I feel like if he gives him a little bit more to play with here, especially on the inside, and then tries to get upfield here, it's a touchdown. He beats Cam Taylor Britt.
I still think he needs to just run past him instead of trying to go to him, make a move, and then go around him. Use that speed. Just run right by him.
Yeah, it's
There's
easier
no
said
need to
than done,
dance.
though.
Yeah. We'll
But the way
move.
I think that was almost one of those designed one-on-one. We're going to push it downfield. I don't think Mahomes even looked anywhere else.
Right. We go. We will go to. Let's go back to a positive. We'll go to the back to the defensive side of the ball, and then I want to show you guys one more thing on special teams that me and Corey watched last night. Harrison Bucker is amazing. But it's third down, 3rd and 10. Our defense back on the field. Great rush that you get right here from All Pro Chris Jones. Kind of forces Burrow to have to make a decision and step up in the pocket, step up in some traffic. And initially, did you guys initially think he fumbled this at first?
It was close.
No, but there's something I noticed. Did anybody else see that ref get absolutely pancaked by a defender? Watch it closely. They showed it on the Jumbotron after. I swear that ref was raising his hand to blow it dead.
Yeah, you get torched.
That ref was running in. I really think he was about to blow it dead and say he was down, and then he just got pancaked. Look at him running in, holding his hand down. I swear he was getting ready to signal he was down, and then bam, got flattened.
Yeah. Good job by Turk Warden to kind of take Burrow out of this play. But what let me know, what let me know that it was a fumble was how Burrow. There was no contest from Burrow at all. He just kind of walked off the field. So I think he knew that he fumbled it. And great instincts, great scoop and score by Shamari. Way to get your hands
Connor.
Right. And look where he comes from to get this ball. Look where he's at first.
Yeah, man, just that instinct, man. Always run the ball at the right time.
Yep.
Scoop and score.
Scoop and score.
Watch out, Orlando. We taking it to the crib, celebrate with the guys, man. Shout out to Shamari, man. Shout out to the defense for stripping that ball. That was a big play in the game. Gave us the lead back. Got the crowd back into it.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like it flips the momentum for us.
Definitely, definitely. We need that play from Shamari, especially going forward. I think he'll have a. He dropped the interception from Burrow when he tried to find Chase over the top. I think if Jamar Chase wouldn't have got his hand up, he probably would have caught it. Just probably couldn't see the ball. But man, he's gonna have opportunities to make some plays. I'm excited for Shamari because he came in and let himself be shown, especially these last two games. So hopefully he can keep that up going forward. We definitely gonna need him. I think he's gonna be the guy that kind of man that Trent McDuffie role last year with playing that slot, coming in and blitzing like we seen him do.
Hmm. We'll
Is this
look, we'll look at this. This is the game winning field goal. Last play we're gonna kind of look at. But me and
I
Corey
get
watched this last
he,
night,
he did
and
not mean to kick it like this. He way overstepped his plant foot.
this is. But this lets you know how great Harrison Bucker is and how accurate he is. As you see, he's on one knee here.
Just look at the angle of his plant foot when it hits, when his drive leg
Right.
is coming through.
Did he slip or
I
I
don't know
think
if
he
he's
just
he just
overstepped.
overshot it?
I think he overshot it, and he was able to compensate. I don't know how. I mean, it was almost a slide kick.
hmm
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild to
Let
it's
me
me
go.
crazy.
that.
I'm gonna run it back one more time. I'm sorry. Get to it. Hold on. 51 yards to win the game, man. There's nobody else in this situation that you trust uh in this league. And I know Cowboy fans will say Brandon Aubrey or whatever his name is, but I'm taking our guy 7 any day of the week.
Yeah, man, big kick, big moment. Shout out to HB
Yep.
for giving us that win, man. We need it. Probably gonna need a lot more going forward. If we got to win with some field goals, I'm okay with that, especially with some tough games. He proved himself in the playoffs and picking up where he left off.
There
Well,
is a teaching. Go ahead, Corey. My bad.
the other thing that me and DG noticed is Jawan Taylor almost threw the game.
Yeah,
His
he
guy
almost
almost got
blew it
through untouched.
right here. Fosai is just a second earlier.
Not Jawan.
And
Completed.
Osai knew it too. He knew he just missed it. But
Mm.
yeah. Also Kingsley, this is a bad rep for Kingsley too, because he kind of gets walked back. Um, but I think it also kind of starts with Jawan not, picking up his guy. Still a good job to kind of recover for Kingsley as well. Keep his guy from getting in there as well. Yeah. All in all, man, Chiefs figure out a way to win a sloppy one. And now they move on to play the Atlanta Falcons in a Sunday night matchup. What's your guys' early thoughts in this matchup facing the Atlanta Falcons? We'll start with you, Tris.
Uh, I expect it to be a good game. I know Bijan Robinson is one of those backs who has the build to give us some issues. They got a good O line in Atlanta. Not They got some good pieces. I'll say that. I don't know about the whole offensive line. They have some skill positions that are definitely concerning with Mooney, Drake London, Cal Pitts. We already talked about Bijan, but I do like Pat on Sunday night. Playing in a dome. He's got the the mindset to kind of bounce back from a bad game every time he has one. So I'm expecting him to light it up. To have some type of fuel behind him. I know he didn't play as well as he wanted to. Didn't make some throws he wanted to make. Probably left some stuff on the field last week. So I definitely see that being a thing for Pat this week. Is just kind of making sure he's commanding that offense, making sure that they show up for the defense as well. I know Atlanta's a tough team. They done added some good pieces. But I think Pat in the dome on Sunday night, I think it's just meant for fireworks. I expect the defense to play well. If we can put Kirk Cousins in some bad situations, I haven't really seen him be that mobile. And Joe Burrow was able to escape a little bit. Try not to get out the pocket and get him hit as much because he's protecting that wrist. But Kirk Cousins' situation is different. So he's gonna have to show some wiggle a little bit. I feel like the defensive line is gonna be able to create some pressure for sure. So I think that's an advantage for us. I'm looking forward to the secondary kind of bouncing back. I know we got put in some tough positions on third and fourth downs with the Bengals. I don't think Kirk Cousins is as talented with his arm as Joe Burrow is at this point in his career. So it's just going to be an opportunity for the defense to show up. I'm looking for the offense to bounce back. I know that we didn't do as well as we would like to on offense with executing and turnover. So I'm looking for that to be cleaned up. And I'm looking for them to go out and put something good out for the America on Sunday Night Football, man. I'm looking forward to it.
What about you, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, man, this is gonna be a tough matchup. You got Simmons out there, you got Bates beside him. The safeties are they got a good safety room over there. So, hey, I would like to say that Mahomes comes out and has kind of that quote unquote bounce back game. I think I predicted that earlier, but I'm kind of backing off on it a little bit. That makes me nervous at that secondary. Not that Mahomes can't cook them. I just there's always that one game, and something about it being in the dome. I don't know, man. It makes me nervous. This game does. More so, like I was nervous about the Bengals game, but that's just because it was the Bengals. But
Nah,
I don't know. I mean, Trizzy, you say no, but
they don't
they're
got no Trey Henderson over there, my boy. I'm sorry. They don't have no Trey Henderson. They don't.
Judon.
He's nothing like Trey
I
Henderson.
look. I'll say Judon. Judon's a very good pass rusher, but he's definitely not a Trey Hendricks.
No, he's definitely not a Trey Henderson. But I mean, look, he had what Judon's 15 sack. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that was his best season was 15, 16 sacks, something like that. I mean, it's not like he's a bum, And so,
Right.
hey, I look for. I don't know if it'll be exactly who it'll be yet. If it's Wanye or if it's Kingsley. I'm sure it's probably Kingsley. I doubt they. You know.
It's not gonna be one, yeah.
Yeah, I think Kingsley. I would agree. I think Kingsley probably gets the start
Yeah.
over Wanye.
So I don't know, man. I do think the Chiefs pull it out. You know how it goes. We don't ever beat anybody the way that we feel like they should. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's going to be a good game. I like what Atlanta's doing. I think they're building something down there that they haven't had in years, and so I I just don't think they're quite ready to play with the Chiefs yet. But I mean, it's still going to be a good game. So the
Yeah.
tight ends make me nervous too.
Initial thoughts on Sunday night, Corey.
Well, we've started off the last 2 years with mustache Travis Kelsey, who couldn't do anything, and we got the same narrative. He's done. He's too old. It's finally past his prime. I think we see Beard Travis Kelsey come back, and we see the real Travis Kelsey again. I think that this will be his first good game of the year. I think we win comfortably by 2 scores.
Yeah.
I think we finally start to get things clicking. I mean, the last 2 games, the only thing that separated us from blowouts is the first game was mistakes. The second game, as we saw on tape, we had the receivers wide open all game. Mahomes just wasn't processing, making it through the reads. I think things will start to come back together this week, and we'll start to see who the Chiefs really are.
Yeah, I agree with all your guys' points. Any time you face any opponent in this league, it's always going to be tough. You can never just expect a blowout. Of course, you expect for the Chiefs to be the better team in this matchup, but we know how hard it is to win in this league. So just figure out a way to go in there and get it done. I do think that this will be a little bit different matchup, just because I think you're seeing two defensive philosophies versus Lou Anarumo versus Raheem Morris. I think Raheem Morris is a little bit more aggressive in his philosophy. So I expect him to kind of test Pat a little bit more as far as blitzes and things of that nature. I don't think he's just going to sit back and cover, two and just play the waiting game like Lua and Arumo is willing to do. So I think that there will be some shots for us to take. I think the middle of the field could possibly be open as well too with their linebacker matchup, and I expect Travis Kelsey to probably get going in this game, and have one of his patented games. So I think we'll have some chances there down the stretch, especially late in the game, and maybe be able to put this thing away comfortably if we execute at the right way. But with that being said, let's get to week 3 and score predictions. We'll start with our game. What's your guys' score prediction for our game?
Um, if Travis Kelsey can get it going, which I think he will, we'll see what we can get from the run game. But with Pacheco being hurt, I think Andy Reid is going to be more of an air it out type of game. I can see Pat being somewhere between 300, maybe his first 300 yard of the game of the season. He's going to be able to play through that dome like he always do. He always shows up on Sunday night on prime time,
Mhm.
even if it's a tough one. I'm gonna go Chiefs 28, Falcons 17.
Okay, I like that. Corey, what about you?
I'm going to go 31. I'll go 34-20.
Mm, nice little Sunday night, you know, blowout. Ethan, what's your score prediction, man?
We got a 28-24 Chiefs.
Like
You know,
closer. All right,
yeah.
feel it. I feel it. Tough wins in this league. I'll say I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'll say 31-16. I think I think it may be close third quarter ish, and then I think Chiefs figure out a way to pull away at there at the end or whatever. But I do expect the offense to play a lot more cohesive this week. Hopefully they can limit the turnovers going into this game. Hopefully we can play a clean game. If we play a clean game, I think that there's no issues with us putting up 30 on the Falcons as well. But
I agree with that.
very tough environment to go down to. Atlanta's going to be rocking. Going to be a lot of Chiefs fans down there.
Yeah, and I
A
wish
lot
I
of
was
people,
going.
right? A lot of people going down there, man. If you're going down there, be safe. Make
And have
smart
fun.
decisions. Yeah,
Have
have
fun.
fun down there. Week 3, man, is going to be real intriguing. Although I think we kind of start week 3 with a little bit of a dud in Patriots and Jets tomorrow night. But we'll go through some of these games. What games you guys are be watching, and what will intrigue you? Since we play Sunday night, you get to watch most of the games. Uh, Fortunately enough, so what games intrigue you guys this week?
That Steelers game, I want to see the Chargers drop one.
Right? Yeah, 2-0 teams versus each other. So
I
what
think
about you?
that. Oh,
Go
I
ahead,
think
Ethan.
that. I think that Minnesota over Texans game. I think Minnesota wins that one.
Mhm.
Which is kind of a, I guess, it upset. I don't know at this point. Is Minnesota? Oh wait, no, Jefferson's hurt though.
No, he's expected. I think he's
Is
gonna
he
play.
expected?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
if he
think he's
plays,
gonna.
then I think they win that game. Another game that I'm looking forward to, and I could see somewhat of an upset. Uh, I mean, I don't know if you'd really call it an upset after what happened last week, but Baltimore over Dallas.
Mhm.
Um, just from perspective of like where these two teams are at currently. Baltimore, I think they bounce back and get a win here.
Okay.
Bold
Um,
prediction: Jags over Bills.
That is extremely bold right now because the way the Jaguars are
yeah,
playing
they're
is
they're looking pretty bad.
they look god awful. Um, Last week I have to apologize. I gave you guys two locks. Uh, I told you
Unlock.
to take.
I like the Cardinals over the Lions.
I told you to
Yeah,
take the Colts to beat the Packers, the Malik Willis led Packers. I was wrong. Um, I told you to take the Eagles over the Falcons. I was wrong. Kirk Cousins walked the Eagles down in prime time. So I apologize. But this week I'm back. I think I'm better than ever. And I'm not gonna give you a lock, but I'm gonna tell you a player to bet on. And it's Devontae Adams versus the Carolina Panthers. Um, I think that's a very favorable matchup for him. I think the Carolina Panthers are an utter dumpster fire right now of an organization, and I think that Devontae Adams may go crazy against them. So whatever his line is set at for his yards, or anytime touchdown, anything like that, anything Devontae Adams in that game, I'm willing to put my money on. So that's gonna be my lock for the week. I'm not gonna pick any of these games because I was completely utterly wrong last week. I really thought the Packers would lose because Malik Willis. I did not expect him to do that at all. So
I don't
yeah,
think
that
anybody did.
that that threw me for a loop. And I know,
Well,
moms, I'm being a chicken. I'm sorry, I gotta do it this week. Cause
I'll give y'all a player lock too. My player lock is going to be Josh Jacobs versus that Tennessee D line.
okay, I like that. Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
like that one. Josh Jacobs went
Uh,
crazy last week as well too. About you, Trey?
Arizona, Arizona played some tough games. They played a tough game against Buffalo. I think Josh Allen was a mutant of an alien, and brought his team back into victory. Don't be surprised if they get off to a fast start against the Lions. Secondary's kind of young. They got Marv Harrison Jr. rolling, and he's a hell of a player. So I like that Cardinals Lions kind of. Um, I know that they're probably it's not as like probably an upset because they played well last week over the Rams. So it's a different, obviously it's a different opponent. Not saying that it's a lock, but don't be surprised if those guys come out on top.
No, definitely a intriguing game. This definitely be a game that I'll watch. Kyler Murray is playing some good ball through these first
Yeah.
two
Yes,
weeks, and I
sir.
I definitely like watching Marvin Harrison. I'm glad they actually got him involved last week. So hopefully that continues this week. But yeah,
There's
man,
several good games.
yeah, there's a lot of good games on this slate. Of course, our game on Sunday night. Then you turn around Monday night, and I would, by record wise, I think you would say it's a dud, but to me, it's not a dud because I like to see how the Bengals are gonna kind of bounce back and
Yeah.
see how they're gonna handle, starting off this season again 0-2. But I think they get a really favorable matchup against the Commanders, who I feel like secondary isn't up to par at all. I think Jamar Chase might have a really good game against them. But yeah, man, week 3, we going into week 3 already of the NFL season, man. It's moving fast, man. So,
Let's
uh,
go, baby. Chiefs
yeah,
Kingdom. Go down there,
Chiefs,
be loud, make
right?
noise, be confident.
Mhm.
Show them that Chiefs Kingdom love, man, and make sure you there to support us because we definitely gonna sweep them boys up in their home stadium.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
y'all?
Go ahead, Ethan.
I was just gonna ask who y'all taking in that Saints and Eagles game.
Saints.
Saints.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they
I'm gonna go
do. They
I
got
Saints.
a good.
I think
They got a good defense. They're gonna make Jalen throw the ball. He hasn't been good.
Yeah, I'll go Saints.
I'm going to go Eagles. I think Saints
I'm
kind of
with you,
come back
Corey.
down to reality. I don't really think they're a 40, 45 point a week team.
Mhm.
I think they finish in the 20s this game, and I think the Eagles may win by a field goal.
Yeah. It's funny because I think me and Corey both had the Saints beating the Cowboys last week, and now I'm with Corey on I think the Eagles win this week against them. So
All right.
That Eagles D line and their linebackers have the ability to limit Alvin Kamara.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. We'll, we'll
Let's
we'll
not
be
act like
watching. We'll be
Kamara didn't
seeing.
carry him last week.
Right. We'll be watching and seeing, man. I think that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. Like I said, you can check us out on all podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple, Tidal, wherever you can find podcasts at YouTube, especially the day after. Check us out on Spotify and all those other platforms. Follow us at Arrowhead AM and PM on Twitter. We do spaces Monday at 9 a.m. after game days, and then Wednesday as well at 9 a.m. as well too. Follow us on our individual Twitters.
That
Um,
that Trizzy be the name you said,
right.
ladies. I'm single.
Follow
Okay,
Ethan.
okay. Or could you
Ethan is
all?
not single.
I'm single,
So,
Hey.
ladies. That Trizzy be the
right.
name.
Follow Corey, man. Corey is
And I know ball.
our college football guy. So he'll be dropping a lot of knowledge here soon about the upcoming draft and things of that nature. So make sure you follow him as well too. Dominic couldn't be here with us tonight.
Shout
You
out
know,
to Don, man.
yeah, celebrating the being a new father. So happy for him, man. Uh, but yeah, check his TikTok out. He has a drink of the week coming out before the game, so he'll be dropping that on TikTok as well, and probably have his game picks on our Twitter page as well. So
I think he
yeah,
said this
man.
week is one for Kirk Cousins, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I
I
think that's what he
believe.
said.
I believe so. I believe so.
It'd be a
But
good
yeah,
one. Should be.
But yeah, man, we love you, Chiefs Kingdom. Appreciate you guys for being here tonight and checking out some of this film with us. We will be back next week after the Falcons and Chiefs game to analyze the film, break it down with you guys, show you some of our favorite plays and things of that nature. So, with that being said, I'm DG, Ethan, Trizzy, Corey. Good night, man, and enjoy week 3, guys. Peace.
Cheese.
Peace.